everybody. It's like by my clock, it says it's 7 o'clock. Everyone please rise and repeat the pledge after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Clerk, can you do roll call, please?
Yes. Alderman Simmons?
Present.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Present.
Alderman Whitman?
Present.
Alderman Baird?
Present.
Alderman Hall?
Present.
And Mayor Snider?
Present.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Does anyone have any agenda amendments to be made?
There is no changes in the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Alderman Baird?
Aye.
And Alderman Hall?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 3 is the consent agenda. Board, please review that information and approve when ready.
Okay, one quick item, being that you were taking notes last time. We had a piece of citizen input that apparently didn't make it into the minutes.
I probably did a bad job.
Oh, well, I just want to make sure if it was supposed to go somewhere else or not. I'm sure we can.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
yeah, I probably didn't catch it.
No problem.
Terry Cathcart's laughing at me also.
Poking the bear there. It's all his fault.
Fair.
I'll go with you on that.
There may have been some other, did you have the opportunity? Okay. It may not have been there, but.
Anybody have any questions regarding the consent agenda?
I would move that we approve the consent agenda. Second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Baird?
Aye.
Alderman Hall?
Aye.
Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
And Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is a discussion and vote on the current outstanding invoices. Board can please review that information. Is it ready?
Just out of curiosity, on page 1, it says dumbbells and storage. You got to do what that is?
Yes, that is, we have been carting around our 2 and 3 pound dumbbells in a pair of milk crates, and the opportunity to purchase an actual rack to cart those around with. It's on wheels, became available, so that's what that's for.
Cool, that's awesome.
Carolyn, why is the landmark Dodge charge not part of the enterprise? What was,
Because they can't get enough cars, and you can get a grant through Greene County to pay for it.
how does this affect our contract with them and the number of cars that we've?
It doesn't, they are replacing them at a slower rate than usual because cars are scarce, and we've got an order in for like 5 for this year we haven't received yet. We've got 5 for next year, which are down the line too. So it's just backed up with the chip shortage
So
in
this
vehicles.
this vehicle that we're purchasing then, was that one that was on order and not been received?
That is one that was in the budget for the police.
Okay.
And
And there's no fee to back out of that individual vehicle or anything on our end with Enterprise?
no. There's no fee. As far as the purchase, they have nothing to do with it.
So we already received the grant?
We get it when we show them the paperwork. It's been okayed, we just got to show them the paperwork. It's one that we have actually received for the last several years.
How much is it?
The grant,
Yes.
it's for, sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head.
And do you know, are we piggybacking off the state contract price on that?
Yes, we are.
Ballpark on the grant value?
I'm thinking 16,000. I can let you know, I can email you tomorrow. Give you
If
the
that's
exact
in the
number.
ballpark, that's all I wanted.
It may be a little bit more.
How did we end up with $286.28 in credit card late fees?
Credit card what?
Late fees.
That is because we didn't get the invoices on time. And we've had a lot of changeover in staff. And if we're late on credit cards, we do get charged for it.
So the credit card company didn't provide it on time, or it wasn't given to the right allocation of person on time?
It was not given to the right person on time. Like I said, we've had a lot of changeover in staff, and it's a matter of training everybody to get their invoices in on time. And we're working on that, and hopefully this will not happen next month.
One more question on the insurance wise. Is there any issue with that, being that it's not part of a fleet program now, that we've got everything else assigned to?
We furnish the insurance on all of our cars. Even though it's through the lease, we are responsible for the insurance.
Regarding the current outstanding invoices.
I move to approve these invoices for payment.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson,
Yes.
Alderman Whitman,
Aye.
Alderman Baird,
Alright.
and Alderman Hall.
Item number 5 is citizen input. Any citizens wish to speak at this time? Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good, pretty good. I just have some concerns, and it was just brought up, and apparently it's already even causing more issues and more taxpayer money. But as everybody knows, we have city employees dropping like flies. Park board, aldermen resigning, city employees all leaving. Apparently we're short-staffed now and we're paying late fees on credit cards and everything else. Just very curious of what the issue is and why these people are leaving and what is being done to rectify those problems. So I'd just like to know what's going on.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come up and speak? Item number 6 is a discussion and vote to appoint Karie PHILLIPS-JOHNSON to the Board of Aldermen. Karie, you can sit or choose to come up if you want to. It's completely up to you. I've given everyone your resume here for them to take a look at. So total, we had about 6 people interested in the position, including Donna. And I spoke with her over the phone. After that, after kind of going through all the applicants, I chose Karie Johnson, and so leave it open for you guys to discuss and go from there.
Is there a reason the resume wasn't in the packet?
Yes, because it's got personal information, so.
How'd you hear about the open position?
I'll come up if you
Oh, cool, yeah. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, good. I'm Karie. I heard about the position, this vacancy. A friend of mine had known like last April when Ward 1 did not have anyone on the ballot. That's when I first started kind of like looking and investigating and just reflecting on that. And a friend here in Willard knew I had been thinking about that or had just been kicking it around and what would that be like. And she sent me a screenshot of the mayor's posting on Facebook if you were interested, and then it was also on the news. So originally a friend had seen that and knew I had been reflecting on that last April when there wasn't a candidate.
That's cool. Was that on his personal page, or was that on a Willard page or something like that, or?
I don't remember. She screenshot it, and it just had the info, and then where you could email through his city account. So I sent an email originally.
Cool. Okay. Cool. I was just curious. Thank you so much. Who's your friend?
My friend is Rhonda Shrewsbury. She's actually a neighbor of mine. My daughter and her daughter have been best friends for since they were probably in 3rd grade. They're sophomores now. She's actually one of the reasons she talked about Willard so much. I've lived in Springfield, and their family moved here quite a few years ago and had always talked so highly of it. And then we ended up, when we were looking at moving, and that was some of the things that she had shared and that we had learned about Willard is what brought my family here too.
How long have you lived in Willard?
3 years. I know I don't have the long history that some of you do, but it's important for me to, I wanted to be able to volunteer somewhere in Willard because our family has loved it so much. And the 3 years, I know we moved here right before the pandemic where things got a little different, we'll say. But, and I know I haven't been here as long, but what drew me to Willard were the people, the schools, the community, and we have loved living here the whole time. So I just want to look for a way to serve. If this ends up being the way that I can help, then that would be wonderful. Most of my background's in education, as you can see from the resume.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
And do you want to speak a little bit to some of your prior experience regarding school board?
Oh, yes, so professionally I've been in education for 28 years. The majority of it, 25 of that was in public schools, most of that in Springfield schools, as either a teacher, an administrator. The last 7 years was an administrator at the alternative school in Springfield. While I was doing that, my daughter went to the Lutheran school, Springfield Lutheran in Springfield, and while she went from preschool through 8th grade there, while she was in 2nd grade, an opportunity came and I was asked to be a part of what's called the day school committee, which is really like their school board. And so I did that for 5 years, working to make decisions for our school. Our school at the most was 225, sometimes it got down to 179. So it's a small school. But I loved the opportunity to do that as far as working together to make our school the best we could. And I guess I'm just looking for other ways to keep collaborating to make the community I'm in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any thoughts? Someone like to make a motion? As much as I love silence, I do. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
There's no thoughts and lack of emotion. Traditionally, the item is dead and we move forward.
Okay. So it's no decision on this? Looks like item number 7 is a public hearing for the 2022 tax levy. Ken, turn that over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Public hearing for the purpose and the passage of the general levy and imposition of annual tax for the general municipal purposes for the tax year 2022 and for imposition of annual tax for parks. The Board of Aldermen will now take any comments regarding this tax. Would anyone like to speak to the Board of Aldermen regarding this issue? Hearing and seeing none, Mayor, I ask that that public hearing be closed and turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So on the public tax hearing, Ken,
Yes, sir.
is there anything I need to do on that?
No, on the hearing?
Yeah.
No, it's just,
Over, it's closed.
just the out of the hearing, and this, all the cities I do have this exact same thing, they have a quick public hearing, no one seems to oppose it because it's set by the state and the county, so it's a matter of a requirement, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well then we will move to number 8. That's ordinance approving the 2022 tax levy. First and second reading.
Carolyn, other than just our yearly requirement to do this, there's nothing outstanding, big change.
It has to be voted on, my understanding, to be able to change it. So it's something that if we're going to do, we need to plan ahead the year before. and look at it and decide if that's something we would want to do.
But again, we have not done that again this year,
No,
correct?
we have not.
Get it on
It
record,
would be
thank
at
you.
the board's discretion to decide if they would choose to do that. I think it would be after probably a lot of discussion.
All right. We have our first reading, please.
Yes, this is an ordinance providing for the general levy and imposition of annual tax for general municipal purposes for the year 2022 and for imposition of annual tax for parks.
So I'd make a motion to approve the ordinance as read.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Alderman Baird?
Aye.
Alderman Hall?
Aye.
Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
And Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Thank you.
And a second reading of the same.
Yes, this is an ordinance providing for the general levy and imposition of annual tax for general municipal purposes for the year 2022 and for imposition of annual tax for parks.
I'll move to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Alderman Baird?
Aye.
Alderman Hall?
Aye.
And Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 9 is ordinance amending chapter 710, sewer use and sewer rates. It's first and second read. Carolyn, is there anything new on this?
Yes, this is required for us to be with, according to the Springfield contract we have, because there is certain things that they require concerning grease and oil and chemicals that go into our sewage. And this is the, to get us in alignment with that contract, we need to pass this and
If I may add one more thing to that, and that is, we have to, part of the contract with Springfield was we have to match their ordinances and their requirements. And these changes bring us up to speed with their ordinances. So these are ordinances that they have in regards to the specs that you see there. So that's what this is about. We're coming up to their requirements of their sewer ordinances.
We're kind of on a time crunch on this, is that correct?
yes.
Was there anything that was just way out there in left field, Ken? I mean, I know we had talked prior, just minor tweaks, but again, nothing that just caught us off guard with having to make any of these changes.
You know, Corey, I really don't know enough about that type of their system and so forth, but when I was drafting it, it didn't seem like it was changing it a lot. But I don't have the knowledge of the, you know, like on section 710.480 VA1A, you know, I wouldn't know, quite honestly, if that's excessive or not. But either way, it does bring us in alignment with theirs.
Carolyn, is there going to be kind of a a negative financial impact by making these changes? Are we going to have to spend a lot of money out of the sewer department to get in compliance here?
No, any expense would go back to the business that is required to have the equipment.
Okay. Specifically talking about the fog equipment, the fats, oil, and greases, the grease traps, correct?
I'm sorry.
You're specifically talking about the grease traps and the
Correct.
fog part.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Can we have a first reading?
Yes, this is an ordinance of the City of Willard, Missouri, amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 710, Sewer Use and Sewer Rates, Article 1, Definition, Article 3, Use of the Publicly Owned Treatment Works, and Article 7, Wastewater Charges and Rates.
I move to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Baird?
Yes.
Alderman Hall?
Yes.
Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
And Alderman Whitman?
Yes.
Thank you.
And a second reading, the same, please.
Yes, this is an ordinance of the City of Willard, Missouri, amending Title VII Utilities, Chapter 710, Sewer Use and Sewer Rates, Article 1, Definition, Article 3, Use of the Publicly Owned Treatment Works, and Article 7, Wastewater Charges and Rates.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Alderman Baird?
Aye.
And Alderman Hall?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 10 is an ordinance amending section 127.360 of the Willard Municipal Code regarding the meeting schedule for the Economic Development Task Force. Looks like that is a second read. Carolyn, do you have anything additional on this?
Do you have the date, Jennifer?
It's, I believe it's March. They were doing it every 3 months, every quarter. The next meeting is gonna be in September.
If there's any discussion, do you have a second read, please?
Yes, this is,
Before you do, just because I was gone at the last meeting, this just takes us from a monthly meeting to a quarterly meeting. Okay, thank you.
this is an ordinance amending ordinance number 130909B, Economic Development Task Force for the City of Willard.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Hall?
Aye.
Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
And Alderman Baird? Alderman Baird?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 11 is an ordinance accepting the contract with Land of Frost and responsible to the Parks Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This ordinance is pretty just wash, rinse, repeat from what we typically do. Land of Frost is a national lunch meat company that provides sponsorship opportunities. They send us their logo and ask that we print it on the back of their shirts. We do that, they send us a check.
Is there anything different year over year? Coming out of COVID, coming into COVID,
Yeah, so coming into COVID, we had been on a $10,000 annual sponsorship contract. During the period of COVID, we were unable to meet our obligation of that sponsorship contract, and they reduced the number of teams that we had to send evidence of sponsorship for, and then also reduced the sponsorship money and number of teams we had to provide for. As we come out, it seems like they're willing to work with us and start to inch that back up as we get more teams involved in our leagues and more sponsorship or more advertising opportunities for them. It looks like it could go up. This year it is still the same $6,500 that it was previously.
how are our number of teams looking? What are your projections?
So previously we'd been required to provide 75 shirts, shirt backs, teams with shirt backs for them to meet that. We are currently obligated to provide 49, and I think we are not going to have any trouble with that, meeting that with just our soccer and basketball league. So it looks like we're on a rebound pretty good, so we should be able to bring that number up depending on their appetite for continuous support.
Good deal.
No, so just, sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
Go ahead, you're first.
I was just gonna say, not to nitpick here, but the contract, says that it's for 2022, and it says it expires on December 31st. Is this something that we will have to renew in January? Is this something that's gonna extend beyond the new year?
It will be something that has to be renewed in January. This is for the 2022 year. Typically, it runs on an annual January to January or January to December. With the loss of our photography company, we communicated to Land of Frost, hey, we're not going to be able to provide shirt backs. Our photo company has bailed on us. We don't have documentation of that. And they asked that we send them an invoice that indicated that we had paid to print those logos on the back when they accepted that. So when they sent the contract out just a couple weeks ago, so we'll be able to meet the obligations even just in the 6 months we have left, so 3 months we have left.
Okay, so just curious, because you had baseball, t-ball in the spring and
Yeah.
summer.
Soccer, baseball team.
And did that essentially fall under this contract? I know we're not signing it until now, but.
Right, yes, those shirts will qualify for inclusion in this contract to provide the documentation.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hall, did you?
I didn't mean to steal the thunder.
It's okay, maybe forget. They've been a good partner
For a long time.
in a lot of situations, so I'm glad we're keeping with them.
Okay, and we have our first reading.
Yes, this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the City of Willard to execute an agreement between the City of Willard and Lando Frost Incorporated to accept Lando Frost as the exclusive jersey sponsor for the Willard Parks and Recreation 2022 sports programs.
Move to approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Baird?
Aye.
Alderman Hall?
Aye.
Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
And Alderman Whitman?
Aye.
Thank you.
And a second reading of the same.
This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor on behalf of the City of Willard to execute an agreement between the City of Willard and Lando Frost Incorporated to accept Lando Frost as the exclusive jersey sponsor for the Willard Parks and Recreation 2022 sports programs.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Yes.
Alderman Baird?
Yes.
And Alderman Hall?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 12, discussion and vote to approve the Liberty Street light changes. Carolyn?
This is basically housekeeping. This is for lights that have been broken or needed replaced, and they replaced them with LED. And these are, it's the paperwork showing the cost for that replacement. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion. Liberty Street light changes.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Yes.
Alderman Baird?
Yes.
Alderman Hall?
Yes.
And Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, item number 13 is ordinance accepting the intergovernmental agreement with GREENE Emergency Management. Jen?
Yes, so this is the 5-year contract that we signed with Green County for Emergency Management. This covers the writing of our emergency operations plan to keep it in line with state and federal rules. It gives us access to all the training. Any training provided through them in the state is all free. They set off our sirens with any of the storms. They are available with resources. They provided sanitizer wipes and gloves and N95 masks and everything through COVID for all departments. It's a good asset to have.
Seems like a no-brainer. Is there any big difference year over year? I know you've dealt with them in the past more than anybody else.
This year it's staying the same, so with the contract, it rotates. The first year, they'll ask for an update on your population. The next year, they do a 3% cost of living on the entire total of the contract, so it's $3 per citizen. So this year, we're paying what we paid last year. Next year, they're gonna do the citizen count, so that'll go up to $63.44 times $3, and then the following year, we'll have the 3% cost of living increase on it.
You're generous with 3%.
Right.
Can we have a first reading on that, please?
Yes, this is an ordinance accepting the agreement between the City of Willard and the County County of Greene and the Springfield Greene County Office of Emergency Management to provide disaster mitigation and pre-disaster preparedness services for the City of Willard and declaring it an emergency.
Move to approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Hendrickson,
Yes.
Alderman Whitman,
Yes.
Alderman Baird,
Yes.
and Alderman Hall.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 14 is new business. Anybody have any new business?
We need a second reading on that, don't
No. Thank you so much. Second reading, please. Thank you.
This is an ordinance accepting the agreement between the City of Willard and the County of Greene and the Springfield Greene County Office of Emergency Management to provide disaster mitigation and pre-disaster preparedness services for the City of Willard and declaring it an emergency.
we? I move to approve the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Hendrickson,
Yes.
Alderman Whitman,
Aye.
Alderman Baird,
Yes.
Alderman Hall,
Yes.
and Alderman Simmons.
Aye.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any new business?
Just a quick question for our scouts in the back here. Are we working on something specific tonight?
We're on citizenship in the community very much.
Very nice. What all do you have to do to complete that?
We have to attend a school for the city council meeting and city meeting and write down like issues and stuff. Write down issues and stuff that.
All right. You guys have any questions? No? All right. Well, I appreciate you attending tonight.
Yes, thank you guys for coming.
I guess I'll bring up, just out of curiosity, where did you post the open seat for Alderman position?
Just posted it on Facebook.
On your Facebook?
I did.
Okay.
And then I did a news interview on it as well.
Okay.
So,
Is there any reason it wasn't posted publicly other than the news? Like Willard pages,
I don't
anything
know
like that?
how public you can get the news.
I was just curious. A lot of people, Willard seem to really kind of resource Facebook and social media for different events and things of that nature, but being that I'm blocked on social media by you, I was just curious how any of the Aldermen would be able to see anything like that, or anyone else that's not friends with you on Facebook.
I mean, clearly a lot of people saw it and generated interest. I think that along with the news interview, I don't really know how much more public you can get, so. What I will say is that I brought a seemingly highly qualified individual to the board, and there's been no motion, no anything made regarding the appointment. Does anybody have any reason why there's no discussion on it? I mean, it doesn't matter to me. The thing is I brought somebody, if the board chooses not to appoint somebody later on down the road, and issues arise, people aren't able to show up, and we don't have a quorum, I don't really know what more I'm supposed to do in this situation. I'm open to recommendations if anybody has any. Okay. Anything else? Does anybody have any unfinished business to bring forward? Someone like to recess?
I'd like to report that the street light has been installed at the corner of Hunt Road and Osage. And it's greatly appreciated. Had some good feedback on that, and I believe it's going to make that a much safer intersection going forward. Thank you.
Very good.
Very nice.
No, Brad's not here, but do we have any updates on the house over on Barwick where we've been trying to mitigate the issues that were happening in that lady's yard there?
I haven't been informed, I don't know at this time.
I can give you a kind of an update. I
Okay.
talked to Brad today about it. We had the search warrant signed by the municipal judge last week, or the week before, excuse me. And just shortly before the city was going to serve it, a new owner actually sold twice. From the
Oh, wow.
And the new owner has, according to Brad, has evicted the person who was causing all the problems, and they're in the process of cleaning it up. So we didn't even do a search warrant return to the judge. We just, it was just never served based on the fact it just got cleaned up.
But I knew something was going on over there. That's real close to where I live, but I didn't realize that all of that had been going on. I thought maybe the city actually had gone over there and started the process, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, Brad informed me that she sold to someone else, who sold to someone else. I mean, just like one after another. But the new owner is working real hard to get it all cleaned up.
Sounds like the best possible outcome there.
Yeah, it really is. Keeps us out of it and the cost.
So,
Thank you.
Ken,
Yeah.
I mean, you see this in a variety of communities. I mean, this went on for a long time.
Yes.
What's the right way for us to move forward from this position so that the next time it doesn't go on for a long time?
I had a telephone call with the mayor of GREENE today, and he told me, I didn't realize this, but they have, this year they knocked down, I don't know if he said 13 or 39, but houses this year. I go, well, how did you afford that? His name's Colin. They got a grant. And I was going to tell Brad or Carolyn or someone about it, grant for like $250,000 to clean up these old abandoned houses there in GREENE. No, it wasn't Bradfield grant. It was something else, but it was kind of a quick conversation and updated me on that. But
Is the city just not acting quickly enough with the courts on a situation like this? I mean, because from what I understood, this has been going on for over 2 years.
each city does it differently. I may have told you this before, Aurora, Missouri, in their budget each year, they allocate over $100,000 each year to address nuisances and taking down houses.
Wow.
Other cities, it's money driven, and how aggressive the city Board of Aldermen, Aurora is a third class city, so they got a city council there, but it's all how aggressive you guys want to be on it. On average, per month during the growing season, I probably sign, on average 10 search warrants a week for Aurora. But they have hired a grass cutting company they contract this company just to go out and hit these things all the time rather than have the city employees do it. They felt that was more cost effective rather than spending.
Specifically the nuisances.
Yeah, for the tall weeds and grass and so forth.
Well, it would make sense having a third party and that third party invoice to go back on any lien.
Right.
Now, am I correct in any time that we had went to move forward and something new had happened in circuit court that it tied our hands to some degree?
Say that again, Corey. Now what now?
In specifically this house in Barwick.
Right.
There were more than one instance when we had attempted to do something and a change in the circuit court, a new filing or something had delayed us or tied our hands.
No, actually on that one, Randy Brown issued her numerous summonses, and every time I prosecuted them, she came in and pled guilty to them all. And last time I knew, paid in full all her fines. Paid her fines. And then last time I talked to the judge about it, I said, it'd be really nice. And of course, it's not my job to tell the judge what to do, but it'd be nice if he had an order from you to clean it up.
Was that Judge Fairfield?
And he did that. He did that. And but his hands are tied. He's not going to throw someone in jail for that, for their contempt of not doing it. That's the problem.
At least.
Yeah. Every time he ordered a fine for her, and under the statute,
you know, in municipal courts now, you're limited to a cap $500. There's a statute in Missouri that allows you to stair step it up after the fourth violation. First, second, third, and the fourth is the cap on it. So we increased the fine with her, you know, and, yeah. One last thing about nuisances, and we can tax or tag the property with the cost, you know, each year. But I don't recall ever, and many of my cities getting that money back. You know, in other words, the property continues to be held by the person who had it, you know, and.
But they clean it, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't, it's not very effective, you know.
Only when it sells do they have a shot at getting the money.
Get title company doing their search is the only time you.
Yeah.
When it sells, and that's when
You know, I know my budget's always tight, all cities are, but it'd be nice if we can allocate money like some cities do. Not all of them do it, you know, and it's a burden for every city in the state, I'm sure. It's always a burden.
Sounds like we did apply for a grant.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the mayor down there again about that grant. That's the first time they had it.
Mayor Crane, right?
Grant, huh?
Crane.
Yeah, he said it's been very successful, and a lot of the neighbors appreciate that, those houses being built. Sure.
Anything else need to be brought up under unfinished business?
I was going to quick comment.
Oh, what's going on, Matt?
Hey, it's been a while, guys. So I just wanted to check and to just ask a question, maybe put it up for just some discussion. As I drove by the AV holding tank here recently, I noticed that the septic looked like overflowing at one point here in the last couple months. I saw, you know, and I've got property just about a mile or so adjacent to there. And we continue to notice, I have renters in there, and they continue to complain about water quality. It's on a well. And so I just didn't know if you guys had any disclosures about septic spills that maybe might have occurred or anything like that. Just kind of curious, because I know that holding tank is constantly a problem. So.
Have you talked to Brad or anything?
I haven't. I just thought maybe you guys might disclose something tonight.
Oh, okay.
I just saw the backhoe there and the water level was up, and there's some things that. So I just didn't know if you guys actually were required to disclose that.
So we did some sort of pump replacement or impeller replacement over there?
The last time that we would have had the pumper trucks there working at was when it had the incident under 160. 4 weeks ago, give or take.
That's what I was about to tell you. So
To the best of my knowledge, I mean, we were proactive with the trucks, that there was no actual overflow at that time, to the best of my knowledge.
And that's what I just wanted to see if there was any disclosures on that, if there was any environmental impact or anything which you as landowners should be concerned about.
Not entirely sure, off the top of my head. Tomorrow, just.
Okay, I'll recheck.
Okay, tomorrow, yeah. Thank you, Matt. Anything else? Someone like to recess to open session?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Alderman Hendrickson?
Yes.
Alderman Whitman?
Yes.
Alderman Baird?
Yes.
Alderman Hall? And Alderman Simmons?
Aye.
Thank